San Jose Sharks prospect Haoxi Wang joins the show today to discuss his journey in hockey.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young. I've been covering the Sharks since 2018, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly part of the Locked On Network, the #1 sports podcast network. We cover your team every day. And if you want to be an everydayer, all you have to do is just follow wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. And today we are joined by San Jose Sharks prospect Haoxi Wang, where he discussed his journey through hockey, moving from China to Toronto. We discussed him going through the draft process, dev camp, all that fun stuff, as well as getting traded in the OHL and going to Boston University next year. So without further ado, let's get into it. And now we bring in Sharks prospect defenseman and Niagara Ice Dogs defenseman, Haoxi Wang. How's it going, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. So before we get going with any of the questions, a big debate, the proper pronunciation of your last name. Give it to us.
It's Wang Haoxi. That's how you say it in Mandarin. But in English, we kind of put our last name in the back. So,
but Wang, almost like a V sounding, is the best way to go.
Yes.
Okay. We will do our best here at Locked On Sharks to make sure we get it this way. But so I always like to ask, what made you kind of realize like hockey could be a thing for you?
I think I always had the passion when I was younger, but I never realized what I can do until I came to Toronto, playing minor hockey in the GTHL all the way through my last year of minor hockey. And when I got drafted, I was like, okay, I want to do something special here, So I just kept pursuing, and here I
am. Growing up, who was your favorite player? I know you said you didn't move to Toronto till later, but kind of who was that player that you maybe like really sparked your interest or that you followed along the most?
I think when I was younger, when I was in China, there wasn't a lot of broadcasting in the National Hockey League. So my brother was in Boston for school, and I was tuning into the Bruins a lot at the time. Obviously, Chara, Marchand, Bergeron, all these guys. And when I came to Toronto, I started watching the Leafs, but not necessarily any favorite player, but definitely the Bruins, the Leafs. I've been tuning in.
Chara, that's a pretty good guy to want to maybe kind of follow in his footsteps there, and also a pretty big guy like yourself. So yeah, like the Chara, do you try to kind of take some stuff from his game?
Yeah, obviously his physicality, how he can shut down player with his size and his skating, and yeah.
So I mean, nowadays, that you've kind of been over in North America for a little bit, who do you maybe try to kind of model your game after now?
I think I'll grab different pieces from different player. I like a lot of big, tall, mobile defensemen like Seth Drone, Parayko, Hedman, Thomas Harley, all these great players. I tend to watch them a lot and try to learn pieces of game and try to put it into mine. So
far, what has been your favorite on ice moment for you?
Favorite on ice moment? Well, I think just going with Oshawa last year, we went really deep in the playoffs, and just how much experience that gave me, I'll say.
Okay. So I mean, for you, right, a kid growing up in China and stuff, how have you seen, you mentioned, right, not a lot of broadcasts for the NHL and stuff, but how have you seen the growth of hockey over not only in China, but just in Asia to in general?
I think it's been getting more popular for sure after the Olympic in Beijing. and more people's tuning into hockey, more people's liking the sport of hockey, and eventually, I hope hopefully some new generation player from China can get drafted in the National Hockey League too.
That's good. Um, I know your family has been a big part of your kind of growth in your career. How, like, especially your mom, can you kind of speak to that and, like what your mom has done for you to, kind of get to where you're at?
My mom done everything that I wanted for me. From supporting me emotionally and helping me to find resource to come to Toronto to play hockey. Honestly, she been every step of the way for me.
I know at the draft, right? She was, you took her with you. She was a big part of it. I remember, yeah, seeing photos with you and her on the red carpet and stuff. Like just a nice kind of moment to almost like a little thank you for her for everything she's done.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. So of course, right, you moved to Toronto. I think you were about 12 when you moved to Toronto, right? How big of a kind of a culture shock and just kind of coming over here to play hockey was that for you?
I think it's huge, honestly. From a from a standpoint of I was born and raised in China and Asia, didn't know what culture is like in North America, and first came some word pronounced differently and meant differently, and it's a little hard for me to adjust, but playing hockey really opened up myself to talk to people and get to meet new friends, new coaches, and eventually I just bonded into this culture.
The chirp's a little bit different. Try to go from Chinese to English.
Yeah, definitely, but I wasn't chirping a lot when I was younger, so
Nowadays, you feel are you a chirper or are you more of a quiet guy back there?
I it depends. If really someone's really getting on my nerves, I'll probably say something about it, but other than that, I'll probably just laugh at their chirp because I'm trying not to let anything get into me because that's all they were trying to do. So
Yeah, I know. William Eklund, his big thing, he just likes to smile at people, and it's kind of really funny when he does it. But yeah, I
yeah.
get it. So, heading into this year's draft, I know you were kind of a big story of where you would be potentially drafted. Especially a player of your background and kind of coming from the OJHL. Did you have any idea of where you might get drafted, or any hopes, or you were just kind of along for the ride?
I mean, I was just, I was honestly really happy just to be at the draft, regardless where and when I get drafted. Because if you told me I was gonna be in the National Hockey League draft the summer before, I would probably be saying you're joking. So I was just really happy to be there and enjoy the ride, honestly.
Going into the draft, I mean, we've seen kind of the growth of scouting and stuff like that. Do you read your own scouting reports, or you just kind of let that be?
Obviously, my mom is reading all that stuff and telling me stuff, but I'm trying to keep that as far as way as possible. Just play my game, and uh, honestly, I just listen to my opinion and the people that's around me that can help me instead of what other think. So, no, the answer is no. I don't really tune into that.
Now that it's over, do you go back and see what they've done, or you just kind of continue to do your thing?
I'm like, meh. It's just
Okay.
gonna make my mood a little bit worse. So why not just stay positive and just keep working on those things?
I will say, Stephen Ellis of the Daily Faceoff really loved you in the draft, so you can go read his scouting reports, and you'll probably feel pretty good about yourself.
All right, appreciate it.
So at the draft, right? Just the whole ordeal with it. You go through the first round. Of course, you get picked to begin the second round. So, what were you feeling kind of going through that first round, and then after the first round, that kind of the night going into the second round?
I mean, just honestly, I didn't expect much on the first night. I was just glad to be there, enjoying, the Zoom call, the lagging Zoom calls, which kind of really got on my nerves a little bit.
Yes.
It was kind of honestly, it was a weird thing. But I think it's blessing in the sky because my there that night with me. So even though if I did get drafted, I probably wouldn't be celebrating with them, which will really suck. So the second day, my whole family's there, and I was just really excited to get drafted.
All right, before we continue with Haoxi Wang and we get into kind of his development path, playing in the OHL, just need to take a quick break. There's nothing like being near the ice during hockey season. The speed that hits, the atmosphere, the goalie fights, it's unmatched. Watching at home is great, but being in the building is a completely different experience. The only thing that can get in the way is actually just getting tickets. Long queues, endless screens, and prices changing at checkout. That's why the Game Time app gives the advantage back to fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing NHL tickets and experiences in just a few taps. Great thing about it is the app is incredibly easy to use. Browsing, comparing, and buying tickets takes just minutes. And with the zone deals, they come in clutch. You choose the section, Game Time picks the seats, and you save even more. So take the guesswork out of buying NHL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL, LOCKEDON NHL for $20 off. All right, and of course, I do want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen of the day. Thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. If you haven't already, go check out the All Access Every Dayer Club. You get ad-free audio episodes of Locked On Sharks, compatible with Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and every major podcast app. Special all-access episodes of Locked On Sharks, as well as an invite to a members-only Locked On Every Dayer Club Discord server, which includes a group chat for fans of the show. So go to lockedonsharks.supercast or tap the link in the show notes to learn more. Of course, you didn't have to wait long, right? You're the first pick of the second round, getting drafted by the San Jose Sharks, and then of course after that, right, it's the car wash where you have to go through. You deal the interviews, then you got to do the photos, right, and then you come talk to the media. So how does that process go for you? And just like, is it just like a whirlwind of just getting here, there, everywhere, meeting a bunch of new people?
Oh yeah, it was hectic. And in the back, I mean, the second I got my name called, I was just floating down the stairs, just walking down. Nothing was going through my head. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? And then honestly, there was our shark media guy took over and just kind of guided me through where I was going to go, where I was going to do, and really just settle me in for what's coming up next.
The jersey, right? You get the nice, cool 25 jersey. Where is that at now? Did you give that to your mom, or where's that at?
It's still in my house in Toronto area. Obviously, I brought it to San Jose Development Camp. Saw Joe Thornton, so I was like, "Can you sign the jersey for me?" And he indeed did the favor, and I was really starstruck when I saw him.
That's awesome. I would have never have thought, to get Joe Thornton to sign it there. So I like that. I really like that a lot. As getting Joe Thornton to sign it. So you mentioned, of course, development camp. So right, I mean, there's no rest, right? You're on a plane to San Jose literally the next day after getting drafted. You mentioned Joe Thornton, but what else did you kind of take away from development camp?
I think just meeting all these new guys, first time meeting Misa and all these younger talent, Josh Ravensbergen, and like just a great group of guys we got there, and we're living in a really nice place in San Jose. So they're like mall right across the street. We're enjoying California, and it's honestly the best thing.
Right. Of course, the weather, you're right, you can't beat it. I mean, even now it's like you can still play golf and stuff in the winter, and flip flops to the rink all the time. But you mentioned Misa, right? You gets drafted second overall. Did you ever get a chance to play against Misa or kind of know him beforehand?
I honestly never played against him in my whole life growing up, because he was playing in Europe every year, and then in the OHL when I transitioned, I think Osher already played in Saginaw twice, so we don't see him again. And yeah, it's my first time meeting him, and he's a great guy. So,
Um, who did you know anybody else in the Sharks draft? I know like you and Ravensburg, right? You guys like kind of struck up a friendship already, but like, did you know anybody else from the Sharks draft class?
um, no, not really. No, I just met them all there at the dev camp, and then just become friends. Yeah.
Um, when with the or sorry, who did you room with at Dev Camp?
Misa, I
You
room
got
with me. Yeah, it was really fun.
so I mean, you're seeing he's starting to kind of make an impact in the NHL already. Like, how crazy that as an 18-year-old, like what he's doing right now. I know it's been a little bit of a weird year for him, but just the fact that he's even kind of sticking around as an
Yeah,
18-year-old.
I think people doesn't give him enough credit. Obviously, with what Mac did in his first year is generational. So I think Misa deserve his credit, and props to him for keep sticking it up for himself, and playing against men's in the league, and I'm just unbelievable.
Yeah, Macklin ruined it for everybody else, didn't he?
Yeah, he certainly did.
It's yeah, like what Macklin does is at his age, it's not normal. He's a one of a kind type of player.
Oh yeah.
All right. So who, I mean, you got to play, right? You had the camp there, and then of course you guys get to play the prospect scrimmage game at Tech CU. Who kind of impressed you, or who maybe you didn't know of, and you walked away like, man, that kid's good.
Um, I think like we have a lot of great prospect. When I first went to the dev camp, I thought Eric Polkum is really good. He's really strong on his feet. He's physical. He can shoot the puck like it's a bullet. And I know he's doing really good in Denver this year, and hope to see him in dev camp.
Yeah, I think he's going to be signing his ELC as soon
Yeah.
as Denver his days at Denver are done. Yeah, that kid's got a cannon of a shot. It's crazy how much power he gets behind that shot.
Oh yeah.
All right. When you left for after Dev Camp and stuff, what was the things that the Sharks told you to kind of work on, or just anything that they told you heading back to the OHL?
I think after you mean the training camp or
Yep.
dev camp?
Or after, actually both. Either way, either way. So
I mean, for the dev camp, there were, obviously I wasn't the sharpest because haven't skated in a while. I had a long season, just, relaxing and working out for majority. Obviously, they're happy with my off ice testing scores, and they just want to see how I battle against, NHL players when I come back for main camp. And in the main camp, like, I think I did well. I stick up for myself as an 18-year-old, 17-year-old at the time.
yes,
Wait, no, 18-year-old at the
18.
time.
Yeah.
And just battling against men's, and they're happy with my work ethic, how I learn, and how I just soak in information. Yeah.
Um, and then you're playing in the OHL this year. You're one of the kids you get to kind of benefit from the new rules that allow much more freedom of kind of going from either the OHL or the NCAA or back and forth. How important is that to you and to allow guys to have just more freedom to be able to kind of choose your path now?
I think it's great for me, for my development. I can play against younger guys with skill in the OHL, or I can go in the NCAA, play with older guys, learn my physical side of the game. And I think for that, I can develop my game in a more complete form before I step into pro. So I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's huge, right? Because especially for a lot of kids, where you can tell they're kind of outgrown the OHL, or the CHL, and they're ready for that next step, but they're not quite ready to play, pro hockey. I think
Mhm.
it's just a better path for some of these kids where they're not kind of stuck in
Yeah.
one spot, right?
Yeah.
So, what's the biggest thing you've learned from playing in the OHL?
I think just, from last year, I was learning a ton with so much draft pick in our team in Oshawa. and our system wise, how deep we went in the playoffs. And coming in this year, the bigger role, bigger minutes, I learned how to, stay composed, stay calm throughout every situation. And yeah.
The playoffs last year, right? You guys played London. Of course, Sam Dickinson, Sharks prospect, Casper Haltonen. That team was ridiculous, right? That London team.
Yeah, it was really hard to play against. Yeah.
Yeah. With a guy like Dickinson, who again, 19-year-old, he's a little bit older than you, playing in the NHL right now. Like, what are the Sharks, or what were you kind of impressed with him?
I think just how smart he is with the puck, how he can find lanes on the blue line, joining the rush, and how good of a skater he is. It's really impressive.
And then, of course, your teammate Beckett Sennecke, who's now playing with the Ducks. Kind of talk about him. I mean, he was a surprise as a third overall pick. I mean, you saw it on his face right when he got drafted, and now look at what he's doing in the league.
Right. I think Duck definitely saw some in him, and he's tearing up in the National Hockey League. And like I can tell last year in practice, he was just doing some unbelievable dangling, and I may or may not lost my ankle a couple times, but hey, it's all a learning experience. So
you'll get him back in a couple of years. Don't worry, right? You'll get him back in a couple of years.
Hopefully, yeah.
All right, before we finish up with Haoxi Wang, where we get to know him off the ice a little bit, just need to take a quick break. All right, where do you think, though, with your game, or kind of over the past year now that you've been in the OHL, where do you think your game has grown the most?
I think my offensive side of the game, and I think just overall my game have been growing in general. Playing throughout every situation and staying composed and calm and be physical throughout the whole game. Just it allows me to grow both ends of the ice.
Yeah, I mean, someone I've watched, try to watch as many of your games as I can, and the confidence I see with when the offensive zone and when you have the puck now compared to kind of when you first got into the OHL, you can really see that confidence and those touches. It's really starting to come along for you, and I think it's for especially a guy like you, where you still got some work to do to get to the NHL, but you can see that offensive game really starting to grow with you in the confidence in the game, and you can see the skill coming too.
Yeah.
So this year, right, you get traded from Oshawa to Niagara. Did you have any feeling that there might be a trade, or was it a bit of a surprise for you?
I think, obviously I wanted to play playoff hockey for me, and I want to go somewhere that have value me as much as Oshawa did. And Niagara is a great spot for me, playing top minutes and at the same time try to, do something special this year.
How's the transition been so far?
Oh, it's been unbelievable. I kind of knew a lot of guys before I came in the team, and I just bonded right away with the with this group of guys.
You're joining a team that's in a rate, like in the playoff race right now. Like Oshawa, unfortunately, they're just not having a great year this year. Like, what's it like going from a team that just kind of struggling to a team that's right in the thick of it when it comes to a playoff race?
I mean, it's definitely a grind, but I I enjoyed every second of it, battling with my friends in Oshawa, and try to how do I say it, win
It's
as
like
much
stay
as
positive
possible.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
stay positive and just battle it out. But unfortunately, we couldn't uh, do what we want to do, and the trade deadline's coming up, and I don't really want to miss playoffs. So, and it might be my last year in the OHL. I want to go to somewhere that could do something special.
You wore 7 this. Now you got to wear the 61. Is 7 like your favorite number? Are you going to try to have your jersey always kind of add up to 7? Is that just kind of worked out?
It's kind of just worked out like that. Honestly, there's nothing really special behind it. But 7 is I have a lot of 7 in my birthday, so that's why.
That makes sense. I like it. So, the plan is still to go to Boston University next year. Is that the plan?
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
plan for right now. Yeah.
And then what's kind of the hope, right, when you go to college? I mean, Boston University, we know is a great program. They're always going to be in the thick of it when it comes to, trying to win a national championship and stuff. Is kind of that the finishing school for you, hopefully.
hmm I mean, Boston's a great city. And the reason why I chose there is because my brother was in the city, and I love how Boston is, and especially Boston U, a great hockey school, a great academic school as well. So it's kind of a no brainer for me just to go to Boston.
You should get that 71 jersey, see if you can get it signed and show up to campus the first day.
Yeah, honestly.
My good friend Macklin, yeah, he hooks me up here, right?
Mhm.
All right. So we'll kind of go to some dumb off ice questions here. So, game day prep. What's your normal kind of prep look like? Are you a big nap guy, or how does your normal game day look like?
I like taking a nap. I like to morning when I wake up. I like to take a cold shower just to wake myself up and come back from pregame skate. I usually take like an hour nap, 45 minutes. I don't want to take too long to make me feel grumpy. So, and then after I just go to the rink, get some food, and get ready for the game.
Are you a big coffee guy or not yet?
No, not necessarily a big coffee guy, but if I do feel like I need some caffeine to dial it in, I will have to. I only drink black coffee, so I just chug it.
Just chug it. I love it.
Yeah,
Are you like when you kind of superstitious where you have to like put on the same like right side first and the left side or anything like that? Or you just kind of no?
no, I'm not superstitious. Not that superstitious. So no, I'm not that in detail of what I do.
There's a fine line between routines and superstition, right?
Yeah.
Socks and skates. Are you a monster who does not wear socks with your skates?
I like no socks, you
No
meant?
socks.
No, I do wear sock. I used to wear ankle socks, but when I got in the OHL, it was dangerous. You might cut yourself. You never know. I just prepare for the worst. So I wear a cut resistant sock and every time. So
But there's guys. Have you seen guys who don't wear the sock like don't wear socks with
oh
their
yeah,
skates? It's
oh
crazy,
yeah,
right?
it's insane what they do. But
Red
uh,
flag, 100%, right?
but I just try to as Steve-O, the trainer in San Jose, said the best ability is availability. So try to keep that along my journey.
All right. Are you a big like headphones guy or are you whatever the DJ in the locker room has?
I mean, depends what I'm feeling. If the aux is really bad, I might put my headphones on. But if not, I'll probably listen to
Okay.
what the DJ got going on.
Are you like are you like a keep it loose, hang out with people, or are you kind of one of those like you gotta kind of like keep to yourself and lock in the room?
I'm just in between. I used to be a really lock-in person, but kind of loosen up a little bit the more game I played in the league. But still during periods, I'm trying to stay as locked in as possible. But before the game, I'm trying to be a little bit elusive before warm up. Goof around with the guys and just stay loose.
um the OHL schedule, right, where it's NHL-ish, where you're kind of sometimes you have weekday games and you'll have play multiple on the weekends, and then you're going to NCAA schedule, which is very much like Friday, Saturday. What do you think will be the kind of the benefits for you having played this OHL schedule and then going kind of to the NCAA?
I think you know from OHL is more like getting a lot of quantity of experience, but going into NCAA. Going into NCAA, it's more of, getting stronger and faster throughout the week, lifting a lot, and in the weekend, get my touches in, my experience, and eventually hopefully make the Frozen Four, and that's when the money's on the line. So you got to know how to shut down the game when it need to be, and how to take calculated risks. So you got to make sure your game's on at 110% every time.
Gotcha. All right. I'll get you out of here with this question. Or last couple questions here. Last TV show you binge watched?
The Suits. I've been watching The Suits.
And then when you're not during the off season, when you're not training, anything like that, what's your favorite off season activity?
Favorite off season activity is probably just hanging out with my friends, watch a movie or something, go out for at the cottage, Yeah.
All right. Haoxi Wang, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck the rest of the season, and I can't wait to see you in San Jose, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Thank you.
All right. Do want to thank Haoxi Wang and, of course, the Niagara Ice Dogs for making this happen. I do believe, as I've mentioned in the podcast, and any time I talk about him, you've seen just incredible jumps in Wang's game here, especially the offensive zone and the confidence in the offensive touches. And I know at the time the pick felt a little kind of maybe out there, but I do truly believe this kid is going to be a great addition to the Sharks blue line in the coming years. Again, one, you can't teach size, but two, he has plenty of skill to go with that size. And I'm excited for him to finish up his OHL career and get to college, where I think you're really going to see him round out his game. But again, thank you to Niagara. Thank you to Haoxi for taking a couple minutes out of his day to chat with me. Of course, thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. If you haven't yet, you got to go check out the Everydayer Club. You get Locked On Sharks ad-free, plus members-only Discord access and more. Head over to LockedOnSharks.supercast to join the club. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow, so make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts, and of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at MyFryhole. Until tomorrow, bye, friends.